What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. First things first, man, when you click on this title, you just want to know why. Why do things like this have to happen? Why do videos like this even need to exist? Your guess is as good as mine, but I want to know the story. I want to know what happened. I want to know what these 5 young men did to repeatedly disturb this elderly veteran's meal and make this man cry. Veterans deserve respect in this country. So let's find out what's going on.
5 young men repeatedly disturbed elderly veteran's meal, making him cry. In my opinion, there is no way of compensate all the brave men and women who risk their lives for our freedom and protection. But we can, however, help them by praying for their safety, reaching out to their families, and supporting them, whether financially or morally. Unfortunately, there are too many military veterans who suffer in silence and are completely forgotten. When this elderly Vietnam veteran stopped at a restaurant for dinner, he noticed a table of younger guys nearby. He didn't think much of it until the guys swarmed his table one by one, repeatedly disrupting his meal. Soon, their conduct caught the attention of the entire restaurant as the veteran started to cry. 74-year-old Lou Zizoff lives in Granite City, Illinois, with his wife, Annette. Not long ago, they went out to eat at a Cracker Barrel, and the couple was looking forward to having a good time together. As usually, Lou was wearing his U.S. Navy Vietnam veteran cap when he went out. The couple got to the restaurant, and after being seated, Lou noticed 5 guys sitting at a nearby table. He didn't know it then, but the young men noticed Lou in his hat too, and they were going to make this one evening he'd never forget. After Lou and his wife ordered, the young men sprung into action. Lou was just enjoying his meal quietly when one of the young men came over and stood at Lou's table. "I stood up," Lou recalled as he came eyeball to eyeball with the young guy. The young man threw out his hand, wanted to thank Lou for his sacrifice. The gesture caught Lou by surprise. After all, it isn't the type of scene that unfolds at dining establishments every day. Lou thought it ended there, until the rest of the group stood up and expressed their gratitude. "I knew they were military by their haircuts, high and tight," Lou said, explaining how he knew they were service members. In fact, the young men were Marines, and as I mentioned, it didn't stop with one handshake. When the first man returned to his table, another got up and walked over to Lou.
I see where this is going right now. It's going in a good direction. I, for some reason, thought by the title of the video we were going in a bad direction, but I'm glad it's actually something positive because, like I said, the military servicemen and women that have dedicated their lives to doing what they've done overseas and right here at home and wherever they were stationed, they deserve all the respect. That is a hard job and it's a tough sacrifice. So I think that, you know, whatever we can do as Americans, or if you're watching this and you're an American, whatever we could do to just respect them, just even something like this, just thank you for your service. Appreciate you. Look, my grandfather, he's a veteran. So it's, you know, and a lot of us, a lot of our grandfathers, a lot of our parents are veterans, and a lot of us are veterans. So whatever we can do. So let's get to the rest of the story. I'm curious to see what else they're going to say to make them upset or to make them cry.
Once again, the veteran stood up and didn't really know what was waiting for him. The second young man then said, "I want to thank you for all 5 of us," motioning to the others. Lou thanked the young men for their kind words, and they talked briefly. Lou expressed his appreciation and was wishing all the men well with their future military careers. After that, he returned to his meal, thinking that was the end of it. But minutes after Lou and his wife finished their dinner, he beckoned for a waiter to bring over the check. When the waiter arrived to their table, he was waving the bill with a big smile on his face and said, "This is your lucky day." The young Marines had bought Lou's dinner. Also, there was a message on the receipt. One of the Marines had wrote Semper Fi across the top with an "Oorah" at the bottom. Lou, completely taken by surprise.
Well, we're still going here. I thought this was a real voice. This is AI. Because they should know that it's Semper Fi, not Semper Fi.
Went over to their table and put his arm around one of the guys, insisting they didn't have to pay for his dinner. A simple thank you was enough. "You don't have to do this. I know being in the military, you don't make a lot of money," Lou told them. But the Marines stood firm. "They wanted me to know how much they appreciated me," Lou said. As Lou and Annette were about to leave, something else happened that left all other guests in awe. Knowing they were about to part ways, the young Marines wanted to give the veteran one last show of respect. While the fifth man was off paying the bill, the other four walked up to Lou's table and extended their hand to shake the veteran's one last time, he recalled, admitting he tears up talking about it. Each one of them thanked and hugged him one by one. As Lou described the incident, tears were again filling his eyes. They filed in front of my table, stood in line, and each one of them again put his hand out, shook my hand, thanked me, hugged me, and walked to my right, Lou recalled. The atmosphere in the restaurant, which once was noisy and chatty, was replaced with an unusual quiet as onlookers watched the Marines' conduct. After the fourth Marine gave Lou the sharpest salute he'd ever seen, they turned and walked out. Lou was in awe and felt the deepest gratitude for the men who so emphatically expressed their appreciation for his service. The room got very quiet. "Everyone was looking," Lou said, dabbing a tear from the corner of his eye. "Sorry, I still tear up when I talk about this." Other people stood and applauded. Lou couldn't help but turn to his wife, who said he better sit down and catch his breath after the moving moment. Lou's wife, Annette, was moved by the scene. "It just speaks volumes for the military. I thought of my son, who is retired Air Force, and the people who thank him for his service. It's rewarding to see that the military is so strong and so polite." According to Belleville News, the 5 Marines were later identified as Kevin Morris, Val Diaz, Eric A. Morales, Victor M. Andrade Gomez, and Elijah Reynolds, all private first class. When the paper reached out for comment, they simply said it was the right thing to do. "He fought for us, now it's our turn,"
That's right,
said the 21-year-old PFC.
That's right, and it must feel good to do that. It feels good to shake a service member's hand, fellow service member, shake their hand, let them know that you're thankful for what they did. They put their life on the line. The least we can do is pay for your meal. The least we can do is say thank you. It's really, really the least we can do. And as I'm watching this video, guys, I'm actually stirring up ideas in my head like, oh man, I should go into a restaurant and say, "Hey everybody, I'm Justin and I'm here. I just want to thank you for your service. Whoever is a veteran, I'm paying for your meal right now." Do it on a day where I know veterans are going to be there, of course.
Diaz from Texas. Lou Zezoff served in the Navy from 1959 to 1963. During Vietnam, Lou, an E-5, Petty Officer Second Class, served on the aircraft carrier USS Coral Sea in 1961 and 62. He was designated a parachute rigger but served as a plane captain on the carrier. He was responsible for a plane from pre-flight checks until it returned to the ship. After the service, when Lou returned to civilian life, he continued to serve as a police officer for 32 years. He became a detective in the 1970s, then later worked court security with the U.S. Marshals Service before retiring in 1996. Lou Zezoff's narrative reminds us how important it is to show our appreciation for those who have served and how even a small gesture can make a big impact. These young Marines' act at the restaurant certainly made a mark on this veteran's life, as can be seen below.
I love it. I love it. What a great example of fine young men. This video title, sorry guys, I didn't make the title. It was a little clickbaity in the beginning. I was like, uh-oh, what did they do to make this guy cry? This is so messed up. This might have been a video that I would have showed my behind a little bit. I would have got mad. I'm like, hey, what did they do? Don't mess with the veterans. Don't mess with the veterans. They did a lot out here. They did a lot. And like I said, my grandfather is a veteran, so it's a lot. And we know the things that they had to do, and we know the things that they had to see, and the work that they put in for us so that we can feel comfortable, and the work that they did that maybe they may not have had a choice but to do. Guys, you and my servicemen and women, I know there was things that had to be done, things that we won't even really go into it, but I know. So thank you for everybody who's a vet on the channel. I appreciate you being here. I love this video. Great example of neighbors helping neighbors here and just paying respects to our servicemen and women. Guys, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time.